I'm Scott Fishman.
I'm John Dwoskin.
And this is the 7-Minute Salesman.
Welcome, everybody.
Good morning, John.
Fish, good morning. How you doing?
Doing great today, man. It's beautiful.
All right, good. It's beautiful but rainy.
I baited you into the weather report. I knew I could do it.
We did have a stretch there where we talked about the weather in the beginning. You know, my grandparents, when they used to call, always used to, how you doing? How's the weather?
Oh, it's so humid.
Yeah, they sounded something like that. Anyway, Fish, good morning. Looking forward to doing a good episode with you today. We got some good stuff to talk about for our loyal listeners.
Yes, the 7-Minute community has spoken. They want some more content, and we're here to provide it.
All right. So thanks, everybody, again, for tuning in and listening. Today, Fish and I wanted to chat with everybody about just getting your day off on the right foot and ending it properly so you can kind of rinse and repeat your days with some rituals and some really solid things to step back, plan, and take care of yourself so you can kind of reset every morning and every night the rhythm and pace at which you hit your business.
Right. I love it, John.
Okay. So let's start with the morning. I'm a big believer in morning rituals. And a lot of times that means that you got to wake up a little bit earlier to get those done. So again, there's no specific answer, but I'll give a couple. I'll say what I do in the morning. I wake up, I meditate, I write a little bit, journal a little bit, kind of get my brain clear. I'll read a little bit, and then I'll work out, and then I go over my day to make sure that my day is kind of in sync, and I reorganize it, even though I organized it the night before.
John, you're like the Army. You do more before 8 a.m. than most people do all day.
Well, it's important for my brain and for my mindset, and I'm not perfect by any means. I do my best to do it every day, but it gets me kind of grounded in my day so I can take care of myself and know what I got to do and just kind of get clear. And I think it's really important. I think a lot of times people wake up late, run out the door, run to their meeting, run to the office, get in, and I just don't think that that's the best, most effective way to start your day.
John, I can't agree with you more. That was me back in the day. I can tell you, I was always that guy that was, putting on his tie as he's running down the hall, which I don't really like to wear ties, but that's just the image I want to conjure up.
Right.
And I had to work backwards a little bit to figure out how I could fix that. And I still see it. I see it in people, like on my morning commute even. I'll laugh because I make sure I leave early enough that, I'm weird. I want to get this specific parking spot at work every single day. So I leave early enough to get that spot, which gets me way into the office way earlier than I should, or earlier than I really need to be. But I used to be that guy that was weaving in and out of traffic. And I see it every morning. Like I see this guy, saw him this week, actually. I saw a guy going, he's like weaving just to get ahead of 2 cars on his way to work. Like he needed that 2-car distance in order to get there on time, or at least make up some time because he was running that far behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of chuckle because I'm like, you know what? I used to do that. Now I get up early. I have my coffee. My ritual is I remind myself what I'm doing today, what I'm here to perform, who I am, how good I am at my job, and how I'm going to succeed and how I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. But then I take some of my personal stuff out of the way. I check my personal emails every morning, make sure that that's taken care of. That's buttoned up. I have nothing to handle on the personal side. I handle my family, have another cup of coffee probably, maybe a couple more. Then I'm out the door on the way to work. But I've handled all that stuff. I've gotten it out of the way so nothing's over my head. I can walk in fresh. And the one thing I do that we've talked about before is I kind of journal at the end of the day. So I have my day mapped out a little bit before I get there.
Yeah.
So that way I know what I'm walking into. And even if I forgot, I can see my plan.
Yeah, I think that's great. For me too, I just want to highlight one thing. I think family is so important to incorporate in rituals. For me, one of the things that's important to me is to be done by 7 a.m. for my morning rituals, because that's when my kids wake up and start getting ready for school. And to me, that's so important that time. And I encourage everybody to kind of incorporate that family time if you're not, because life goes by way too fast, and you got to kind of incorporate that.
So, John, you have two teenagers at home. So you meditate, and then what happens? Like how fast does your blood pressure go up at 7 a.m. when those two teenagers wake up?
It depends on the morning, Fish. It depends on the morning. We got a lot of hormones flying throughout the house, starting at about 7 a.m. when it's time to wake up, and everything's going on. So yeah. So I do my it. It definitely helps. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. But sometimes I have to kind of re-meditate at 7:40 when they leave.
I get it. Reset yourself.
Right. But that's important. And I loved what you said about just kind of, really kind of taking that personal time too. I do that as well. I mean, when I'm journaling, I'm writing like what my intent is for the day and lessons that I've learned and how I'm going to attack the day. Because I just want to get into that headspace where I'm reflective and just kind of doing my best to kind of increase my frequency and my abilities for the day, even if it's like 0.00001% better than I was yesterday.
I love it. It's great.
So let's talk about kind of midday rituals, right? So then, I mean, I think sometimes those are hard for people. So maybe we'll get back to those and skip to kind of end of the day rituals. What do you do? I know you said you journal at the end of the day. So, to me, what do you journal the day, your clients, like, what are you mapping out?
So I just kind of reflect on what I did. I look at what my non-negotiables were for the day, what my tasks were for the day, what I wanted to accomplish, and see if there's anything that wasn't checked off. If I can check it off, with quality before the end of the day, I will do so. If it needs to be put off to the next day, I will put it off to my plan for the next day. So I just kind of go through it and really honestly reflect with myself. Did I do my best? What could I have done better? Where could I have improved? Time-wise, time management-wise, effort-wise, what could I have done better? And what could I do better tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I put that all down in my plan. So, and I want to just harken back a little bit to why I do the morning plan the night before is because I want to come in and I want to have at least a rough draft. I always go over it when I sit down at my desk in the morning and play a little bit of chess. Like, okay, here's what I planned out, but what could possibly happen? What curveballs could be thrown my way? What do I see in my work email in the morning that might pop up later in the day? What do I need to add? And how do I need to plan accordingly? So that way I have contingency plans in place and things aren't surprising me, because the last thing I want is to be on a phone call with a client and then I have an emergency phone call or email pop in that just totally throws me off my game.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I love how you talk about non-negotiables and nightly rituals. I think they more for me. It sounds like they do for you a little bit as well. And, for me, I don't know how people don't plan their day tomorrow at the end of the day today. To me, it is a lot of times when I do a time management training, it amazes me how many people don't plan their day, like we just talked about, or don't even plan their week on a Sunday just to kind of begin mapping everything out. But to me, it's such a game changer. And I end every day kind of, responding to every email, responding to every text, responding to every call, sending thank yous, reflecting on my day, and very similar to you, how could I, what could I do better and how can I be more efficient? And then just make sure that the next day is tightened up.
Right.
And so, for those of you who are listening who don't have these morning or nighttime rituals, Fish and I are sharing what works for us. But what's critical is that you figure out the 1, 2, or 3 things that work for you. And even if that means starting really small and doing one thing in the morning and one thing at night, start incorporating it into your day and bookend your day differently. And it's just it's a complete, in my opinion, game changer.
Right. And I think one of the importance of bookending the day that way is it allows you to compartmentalize and cauterize your day. So you're not taking everything home with you. You're kind of having a hard shut off at whatever time you're doing your journal for the night, and a hard turn on when you start your day. In between, something might pop up. I mean, don't get me wrong. Things happen. Phone calls come in, emails come in, emergencies happen, whatever happens. but you're not sitting there trying to take everything home, and you're not thinking about work at the dinner table because you were able to shut it off because you went over everything completely and wholly.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I know we've talked about this on past shows, but non-negotiables. How would you define a non-negotiable, Fish?
Well, I'd say there are things you can't negotiate, John.
I would agree. Things that you want to get done by 11:59 that day, and things that are really part of your overall brand of things that people can expect from you and you can expect from yourself. And that to me is a great differentiator and a great brand promise to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the one thing I know is, let's say you have and just for ease of explanation, an effort goal that you need to hit every single day that you make your non-negotiable. If you didn't have that in place and you didn't hit it, that means it's negotiable, right? And then slowly but surely that you're negotiating that down. It doesn't usually negotiate itself up as far as effort goes. It usually gets easier and easier. Your day gets less effective. You put forth less effort, and it becomes okay because you're allowing yourself to mentally negotiate that down for yourself. So making that non-negotiable means that it's a hard yes or a hard no. It has to happen, or else you can't leave that day. You have to make sure that you get your business done.
Amen to that. All right, Fish, I think we dropped some solid guidance for people who don't have morning or nighttime rituals or non-negotiables, and if they do, how to tighten those up. Anything else you can think of that would be effective for our listeners this week?
No, just actually, we've talked about it before, but go forth and do this stuff. Put this into play. Change your mindset. Change your business plan. Make shit happen. Because just saying you're going to do it and, planning on it and talking a big game is one thing, but actually executing on this stuff and taking your business to the next level, whether you're taking our advice or someone else's advice or reading a book or listening to an audiobook or just plain, making up your mind to get better, taking that action is the first step and it's the most important step. So go forth and do.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll throw out a challenge to at least do morning and nighttime rituals for the next 7 days, not even 30 days, just the next 7 days, or maybe even the next 3 days. Let's just say 3 days for those of you who aren't doing it, because the discipline and the consistency is key.
And John, I just want to throw a quick shout out to our friend Brian Apple, because when I said go forth and do, it reminded me of a thing that he always said of shut up and do.
Yeah.
It's even his license plate, SUAD. So shout out Big Bri out there in AZ, rocking it out there, probably still asleep. But, to everyone out there, shut up and do, all right?
All right. Apple, thanks for saying shut up and do first, I guess. Yeah, thanks, Apple.
And remember, we're just a speck.
All right, take it easy, Fish. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Now, no excuses. It's time to put everything you listen to into action. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop listening and doing nothing with this information. Take this information, implement it into your day, kick some ass, grow your business, grow your sales, make more money, have more fun, have a better life, period. The end.
What he said.